I'm Kevin.
And I'm Cass.
And this is
we're
Wild Response. Oh, damn, that's pretty good.
It was almost.
Hoedspruit is wild. It's not your traditional African town for sure.
We run this town.
I think it'd be really cool for Americans to see how we live with wildlife here.
Donkey just walked into the kitchen.
And I think it'd be kind of cool for Americans to see what Africa is really like. The mission of Wild Response is to save endangered species from extinction, and we do that by providing training and support to wildlife rangers and conservation groups around the world. Right now we have projects in South Africa, missions in Zambia, Congo, Uganda, and Wild Response was originally founded in Asia. So now that COVID restrictions are starting to ease up, we're hoping to start traveling the world again, getting out and supporting these projects. I'm Kevin.
And I'm Cass.
And we are Wild
Response. What?
So we got a lot of things going on this week. We're pretty much busy every day. Starting the week off with our RAMP training, our Ranger Advanced Medical Program. Good morning, everyone. I'm Kevin from Wild Response. This is my artery here, right? And so when I cut it, it starts bleeding. And that's a whole day of medical trauma training, followed by a nighttime scenario lane where they get hands-on practical skills in their medical. Pain is good, right? Pain means he's alive. So we're in an actual park, so we're surrounded by lions, elephants, buffalo, hyena, leopard. How's our patient's leg? This one. But luckily I have Cass here, who watches over us at night with the little thermal scope, keeps us safe.
I just get to play with cool toys.
I think this year alone, I think we're up to about 180 people trained, and we've donated over 100 medical trauma kits. So a big part of this is prevention of poaching. It comes down to law enforcement and crime prevention. That's a big part of this job and the rangers we support. But another even huger part of this is education.
The kind of poachers that we're going to encounter, they're not bad people. They just lack resources.
And then considering our background in training in the environment, your background in security and similar, it's a good collaboration. We can do lots together.
One of the many benefits of Wild Response and our partnerships and working with people is it's opening up what we can do across the landscape and or hell, across the world of conservation. We do a lot of work with the black mambas, and they're actually one of our partners. Coming up right here is actually where we're going to be doing a snare sweep with the mambas tomorrow. So we're going to run out to the Trans Frontier camp and meet up with Craig Spencer, the founder of the Black Mambas.
This is the backstage pass to conservation management.
Seriously, right?
So the Black Mambas are a badass all-female counter-poaching unit that do wildlife security in the Greater Kruger National Park.
We have fought hard to change the model internally, to have them accepted as rangers, to have them deployed on the landscape.
We will patrol the reserve, make sure that there are no poachers coming in, no intruders.
9 years later, we've run out of money because the government subsidy has come to an end. You know, now I have to turn around and say, I'm terribly sorry, thank you for your service, but bugger off. I don't have the heart to do it. I can't do it. But you bring a certain skill set in that we lack.
In the community that we grew up in, they don't really teach about anti-poaching. They don't really teach about stuff like protecting rhinos, protecting nature. So it was that thing that I wanted to learn more. I wanted to know more about protecting animals and the impact of poaching.
Friday, what do you have going on?
Friday, we're gonna play with some snakes in the morning, and then I am gonna go do my horse patrol.
Hi. How you doing? Cass and I are gonna go out and do a morning patrol with the horses. The horses are mainly used for presence patrols. So to check fence lines, monitor the perimeter for incursions and snares, and also really useful in monitoring the animals on the reserve.
Looks like we found a snare. I'm going to hold the horses and Anna's going to grab it.
This snare is much thinner. It's made from your bog standard cable wire. They've obviously come in to set the snare, so we need to make sure they're not still inside. It's proven to be such an effective anti-poaching method. They're silent, agile, you can follow natural bush paths and track animals and humans in places where vehicles can't go. So we have to be incredibly alert and on our guard whenever working in Big 5 area.
There he is, coming down the road.
We actually just took part in a rhino dehorning last week with Rhino Revolution.
I don't like dehorning. I feel like we're dehorning unicorns. However, it's mainly a deterrent. Poachers won't go to properties where they know the rhinos have been dehorned. There's not. So now, along with a vet and highly skilled staff, they'll dart the rhino and sedate it, and they'll dehorn it.
So once that's done, they have to grind down the rhino's horn smooth so it doesn't have an edge. So when they fight and hit stuff, they'll snap the horn and they'll crack it. They smooth it off, they'll put a lacquer on it to keep it sealed, much like a horse hoof. And then they'll give this guy a shot and he'll be back on his feet in no time. So now we're marking the rhino so we know from the air that we've already dehorned this one.
Rhino, you already done it.
The rhino's horn will still keep growing, so in theory, if rhino poaching stopped today, in 5 years, rhinos could grow their horns back.
And there she goes. That was awesome. On to the next.
Yeah, so we're actually part of the Farmers Watch here, which is essentially their neighborhood watch. But we're in a rural community, so we have limited police resources here. People always know if you call Wild Response will come. It's a good reputation to have. We've been working on that for years.
There's no I in team.
There is an I in edible arrangements.
Why do you keep going back to edible arrangements? I don't get it.
They're delicious.
When was the last time you even had an edible arrangement?
Right? What's it do with me and food? I definitely get hangry. Cass keeps me fed though.
He's a wild animal. Don't feed him after midnight, don't water him after midnight, he's kind of like a gremlin.
It's not all serious business out in the bush. I try and make fun, light situation of all events.
After the gym, it's touch and go.
Jeff put poop in his mouth.
The Kudu Doodoo game? Full send. The Kudu Doodoo game is a game where players form up in line and try and spit Kudu Doodoo as far as they can.
Oh, way past the line! Way past I'm out, disqualified. I'm trying to show people that we do in fact live a civilized life in Africa. Apart from bush babies in the shower and showering outside like savages.
It's a show about Cass and I having rad adventures in conservation and following our passion.
So cool that Rhino Revolution and Wild Response are collaborating and coming together.
I think that's key.
You know, I think the world's ready for a generation of people who want to make a positive difference. You guys bring a whole set of skills that can add a lot of value to the collective conservation mission here.
This environment and showing people how we can work together and what we can do.
To see things from a different perspective.
I think we have an obligation to try and fix it.
Snow leopards, green turtles in Thailand, tigers back in Asia, Komodo dragon. I really want to get out and support some of these endangered species before they get wiped off the face of the earth.
The reality is that there's hard work to be done, and we want the people from around the world to be able to share in that.
The next logical progression for us is the illegal wildlife trade. Who touches it, who's complicit? I would very much like to get involved with that if I had the funding.
We're gonna take over the world.
I'm Kevin.
And I'm Cass.
And we are Wild Response.
Yay!